The most popular topic of discussion in the current scenario is travel and tourism. People are so fed up of sitting at home and they're not able to go and visit any places because of the embargoes due to the COVID-19. What's happening then? When will it get over? Nobody knows. We've been speculating since the last 15 months and nothing has improved, nothing has changed. We're all waiting for some respite from the fact that we will be able to lead a normal travel and tourism life. That's not happening. So what do we do now? I feel that this decline in the industry, that is the travel and tourism industry, which has come to a halt right now, started even prior to the pandemic. It's not that the travel industry has had a decline during the pandemic. It's a fallacy. It's been happening since many years. And what has really happened? Now just give you some illustration on what's happening. In 2008, where we did a count on how many travel agents exist in this country, and the count was 2,900 of IATA agents. And what did we discover? That while there were 2,900 IATA agents, there were another 40,000 of non-IATA agents. So you can imagine the extent of people who were doing sub-agency business and were able to still survive. That is the reason why there has been no control, there has been no method in how the travel agencies work. Do you know that there are 40 categories of travel agents and tour operators? I'll just make you see an illustration on how many categories of travel agents and tour operators are there. It's a huge industry. It's not to be taken lightly, and it is one industry which employs the maximum number of people. And to give you a surprising illustration is that the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, it only recognizes that there are 1,062 people, 62 agencies in the business of travel and tourism. Isn't that surprising? Where are the 40,000 agents, and then where is this 1,062? Where do these numbers come from? Only recently, the Finance Minister announced some SOP for the travel and tourism industry. And what were these SOPs? These SOPs were only for those who were recognized by the Ministry of Tourism. So you can make out that out of 40,000 agents in 2008, which must have multiplied much more now that it's 2021, only 1,062 agents are recognized by the Ministry of Tourism. So the SOPs were to be given to the recognized agents of Ministry of Tourism and the guides. And that was the package that was given to the industry. This is the tragedy. While the industry has been crying that we required some subsidy, we required some support, nothing came forward. Now to just put things in perspective, do you know that the travel and tourism industry is one of the maximum employers of people who are in the industry? Do you know that travel and tourism industry employs out of every 10 people, one person is employed in the travel and tourism service industry? Did you know that? This is direct employment. And if you go to the indirect employment, where I've given you the list of these 40 different categories, for every 5 employees, one is from the travel and tourism industry. So that is the extent of the impact that travel and tourism industry has on employment. I am surprised, I'm really surprised that such an important industry is taken so lightly by the government. If you would see what happened in the West during this pandemic of 15 months, in the West, that is the UK, USA, and some of the European countries, the entire trade was given salaries for the staff, at least 75% of the salaries. Some cases 75%, some cases 50%. But the staff of the travel and tourism trade was looked after by the government. It didn't happen in India. And so what do you expect will happen now? The whole industry is dying out. I do not know what will happen after the pandemic. I do not know whether the industry will come back. It will be able to again start performing the way it was doing before. But at present, that is the situation. Now I'll just give an illustration of how much percentage of people are employed by the travel and tourism industry. You can have a look at this illustration and you will be surprised that the direct and indirect employment that this industry brings is nearly 12.9% of the total employment that takes place in the country. How many of you know that 9.2% of our GDP comes from the travel and tourism industry? It's a big number. In a country of 130 crores with such a big outlay, if 9.2% comes from the industry, I think that is not to be taken lightly. Why did it happen in this manner? Because as a trade in different associations, we have failed. We have failed to go and make a representation to the government as a unified body. Every part of this industry has a separate body and they are not unified, and in that case they've never been able to make an impact. So what do we do now? Well, I have a solution, and I feel that the government should now come up with the licensing. All these 40 categories which I have illustrated, shown through one of my illustrations, every member who's a stakeholder in this should come through a license. And only those who are licensed, they should be allowed to participate in the industry. We need one umbrella. We need one umbrella in a unified manner. We should be able to work, and we should have every one of us who are in the travel business should have the right credentials to be a part of it. The kind of hit that our image has taken, not only in inbound travel but also in outbound travel, because we have touts and we have people who are not supposed to be, have no business to be in the travel industry, are a part of it, because there is no control. It is time that everybody should belong to an association which should vet the credentials, which should allow them to get a license and then come into this travel business. I have been talking about this for the last 10 to 15 years, and I've gone on, but it has never taken, nobody has taken notice of it. But right now, I feel that the only way out is that we unite, we work under a licensing system, because that is the only way everybody will be forced to come under one umbrella, and therefore will be able to make a representation. Now, what happened during the pandemic? We got nothing, because no association was actually representing the entire industry, because of which there was no data. I don't think the government has any data on how many stakeholders are participating in the industry. What I'm trying to get across is we are a very disorganized industry. It's time that we organize ourselves and are able to prosper together. As far as the people are concerned, the consumer is concerned, he wants to deal with somebody whom he can trust. And the person whom he can trust should have the credentials. And the credentials can only be provided by vetting those who are participating in the industry as vendors. So I hope this is taken in with all the spirit that I'm trying to get across to each one of you. I'm sure that this will happen in the near future, because now we've learned a lesson. We've learned a lesson that if you're not united, you can't get anything out of it. There will be many more presentations like this, many more videos like this that I will come up with in future, and I hope that you all keep yourselves safe and be cheerful even in these bad times. Thank you.